Yes, ma'am, you are audible. Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Audible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Audible, right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, great. So we are starting with a couple of new batches on 8th, 10th, and 13th of Feb. So please check them out and you can enroll using my code SBUS. So let's start with the awaited process. And my first question is to you, Anisha. We actually fairly know the other participants and they're more prepared. So giving you the first mover advantage, tell us something about yourself. And you have 45 seconds, so be very precise.
Okay. Hello, ma'am. Good evening to all the panelists. And my name is Anisha Sinha, and I am from Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. And currently, I am pursuing BTech Agricultural Engineering from Sam Higginbotham University of Agriculture, Technology, and Sciences. It's formerly known as Allahabad Agriculture Institute, and it's situated in Prayagraj, Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. And my hometown is Jamshedpur, Jharkhand, and I have completed my 10th plus 2 from Jamshedpur only. And I live in a nuclear family of with my parents and my younger brother. And my parents are teacher in government school. And I have a keen interest in cooking, and I'm a foodie too. I have an Instagram page with 1,300 followers, and for further studies, I want to pursue MBA in my postgraduate program.
Why, Anisha? Why MBA? Further studies, there are a lot of options, right?
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, I want to pursue MBA because MBA, I'm from agriculture background. I'm an agricultural engineer. So I want to use my technical skills in the field of agriculture into a more managerial way, and I want to implement my knowledge into for marketing and for production basis. Like I want to learn the marketing skills and leadership skills to further growth in my career. So I think MBA will give me that.
Which career options are you looking at? Which career option are you looking at?
Agribusiness management.
नहीं career option career मतलब वो तो MBA का degree पूछ रहा हूँ नहीं career में in which position or in which kind of organizations are you looking out to work in the next 5 years में से?
Okay, sir. Sir, I want to be in a some like middle manager post or like a head of any marketing department in agriculture based organization, like which the organization which sees for which completes that which completes the demand and supply, which take care for the supply of agricultural produce in the market.
Any organization in your mind right as of now?
Like Mahindra, Escorts, which supply tractors and agricultural implements in the market.
All right. So, Amay, am I audible? Yes, Amay? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, Amay, I wanted to ask you, did you go through the budget this time that was presented?
Yes, sir. I did have a look at it.
What is the difference between the real budget and the interim budget?
No, sir, I'm not aware.
Okay. Was the interim budget presented or the actual budget was presented?
I believe it was the actual budget. I have no idea what the interim budget is.
All right. So, are there any changes or what are the key highlights of this particular budget that was presented this time?
So I believe that this time they have focused on more of a long-term growth and not the short-term benefits. In the sense that they have given a big boost for infrastructure, and I believe that giving a boost for infrastructure is a two-way benefit. It will generate employment in terms of the laborers working, and also it
also
how much has been how much portion of the budget has been allocated for infrastructure development?
I believe around 68,000 crores has been allotted for the infrastructure.
Okay, what was the size of the GDP as per the budget in value terms?
I don't know the exact figure.
Okay. Is
Sir,
there
I
any?
have a question
Yeah, yes.
for, sorry sir.
Yeah, sure.
बोलो से आप बोलिए. Sir, Kshitij, so what do you know about SIBM? How is it related to your industry? You are in the hotel industry. You will make a transition to SIBM. So why SIBM? What do you know about us?
Ma'am, talking about SIIB, if I go back into the history of SIIB, right from the time since 1992 when SIIB had been formed up, this was one of the core international business providing institute apart from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. And adding on to the reason behind international business is that I belong to a hospitality industry and core sales and marketing department. And sales and marketing is something which goes hand in hand with business. Talking about international business, having worked into the marketing department and having worked for two major business conglomerates of India, APJ Surendra Group and ITC Hotels Limited, I have gone across and met across people from different walks of life, people from around the globe, and was
so what is our motto?
Ma'am, Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
What does it mean?
That's not our motto.
What does it mean, by the way?
SIIB का motto नहीं है ये.
Symbiosis Society.
Not as a whole, you're applying to SIBM, right? So what is our motto? You went into our history, so you must have read upon that.
I guess so. I missed on to the motto, ma'am.
Okay.
What does
so
it
you
mean,
are
by the
saying
way?
they
You
will be
said
teaching you more about the hospitality business, but what
No,
our
ma'am.
website
Not basically about the hospitality business. Not majorly about hospitality business. I specifically want to focus upon international business because I feel like that.
What kind of international business?
Ma'am, talking about international business right now is that business is something which is the oil of an economy. Talking about the amount of investments that is happening into India from foreign as well. Talking about one major investment is from Facebook, for example, into Reliance Jio. We can look into that how outside world is trying to invest upon into our country. Now, once we are able to understand the certain aspects of international
which sector?
Business,
because I don't think we cater to your sector. You were talking about oil sector?
No, ma'am. I'm talking about oil sector. I'm giving an example that how Facebook has invested upon the India through Jio. Talking about my sector, ma'am, I am not core. I'll not say that I do belong to the hospitality industry, but I belong to sales and marketing department. And when I talk about sales and marketing department, this comprises
which primary sector? Because we only cater to three sectors: agri, business, energy, and environment. Which of these you want to go into as your future career?
Ma'am, as per the SIIB curriculum, I'm looking forward for the international business one.
हाँ, international business में तीन sectors में जाते हैं हम. Agriculture, business, energy and environment. International sectors है ना, international business में भी सब में थोड़ी ना business करेंगे.
Ma'am, but when I talk about the different recruitment companies who come up to Symbiosis, I have looked upon that there have been companies from across the industry, and also there are companies from the hospitality industry. So my major aim behind
तो मतलब fallback option है, कोई और sector नहीं पसंद आया तो वापस hospitality में घुस जाना है at a higher level.
That will not be a fallback, ma'am. I would like to go back to hospitality itself. If I talk about my own last brand for which I was working, ITC Hotels Limited, I would be more than happy to come back to the company and work as a brand and marketing personnel for the company and to take up the company.
To get promotions.
So, Kshitij, wouldn't be a good idea if you stay back in the same organizations, maybe work for 5 years and try to attain the same position, if that is the end goal?
So that is something which comes up in a due course of time. When I talk about an MBA, the major advantage, what I feel behind the reason behind doing an MBA is there are two things which an MBA gives. It gives you a cross functionality and gives you a cross industry mobility, because once you are able to get into a good B school, a reputed B school, you are into an environment where you come across people from different diverse industry segments and you are able to share certain different ideas onto a common platform. So talking about a manager what I will come out from a particular business school, these are people who basically provide an environment to their colleagues, working alongside them, at the same time leading them. Talking about the interpersonal aspects and talking about that how helpful this MBA degree comes out to be is, I feel that it's very dynamic. Talking about marketing and talking about MBA in marketing is very dynamic because in today's world, we can see how well versed and how aware the consumer is. The three pillars, I will say that the three major pillars, apart from that, there are many pillars, but what I feel is that onto which the economy from now onwards will work.
If the consumer is so
branding,
well,
marketing, and advertising.
Kshitij, if the consumer is so well aware, then what is the role of the marketing guys? Why do we need branding?
I feel we have got three major roles, sir: branding, marketing, and advertising, because people do confuse them many a times to be certain common terms, but they have certain demarcation in all three of them. And
so why does the consumer need to know that? उनको तो सिर्फ पता होना चाहिए ना प्रोडक्ट में क्या स्पेशलिटी है, उसको क्या करना है, तुम एडवर्टाइजिंग बोलो मार्केटिंग बोलो, एक ही बात है उसके लिए तो.
Ma'am, that is what we are to look into that. It's not the consumer. What we are presenting to the consumer is a different thing. Branding, marketing, and advertising, when being done in a systematic manner, will help us reach our consumers and will also increase our market capture in the industry, ma'am. And in the
outside. So you will say the same thing at NMIMS? You have a call from NMIMS?
Yeah. Ma'am, that is something which is an overall a different sort of an MBA, because this is more focused onto international business.
So जो मिल जाए वैसा MBA कर लो, or you have something
no, ma'am.
specific
Even over there also, if I am doing a general business, I will go into marketing placements only over there itself.
Kshitij, I'm going to be giving you.
Sector will not change.
Kshitij, I'm going to be giving you.
SJ Song के लिए क्यों नहीं apply किया? It's known for marketing, right? ID Bombay, SJ Song.
Ma'am, I had few colleges in my mind which, in my opinion, which I had developed a certain knowledge about them, so I went as per my instincts.
Kshitij, I'm going to be giving you a one word. Okay, you need to speak on that particular word for the next, let's say, 1.5 minutes. I'm going to give you 90 seconds. The word is whiteboard.
Whiteboard is something that depends upon a person, that how you want to and what you want to present to the person who is standing in front of you, because a board can be used in different ways. A whiteboard can be used as a medium to showcase the knowledge and to enlighten the person who's standing in front of you to gain that knowledge, and at the same time you can just sit over there and just keep on staring at that whiteboard. Whiteboard to me is just like that empty mind, using which you can enlighten that empty mind and you can impart upon knowledge onto the person who's standing in front of you or to whom the person you are addressing to. Whiteboard, in my opinion, can be a symbol of or a medium of communicating yourself, because communication in today's world is very, very important, because at the end of the day, until and unless you are not able to communicate yourself well, the other person who is on the other side will be able to understand you. At the same time, when I talk about the other utilities of a whiteboard, the whiteboard is being used in the different segments of the industry. Starting off, the whiteboard can be used in a corporate sector while discussing a particular research product or something. Talking about the education sector, the whiteboard can be used for imparting knowledge to the students who are going to be top corporate people into the industry. And third, the whiteboard can also be used as something which can be put upon and in exhibitions or something, and an artist can work upon that. So whiteboard was its different utility when we see it onto a commercial scale, and at the same time, if I talk about a whiteboard in a philosophical aspect, the whiteboard represents that mind which is totally whitewashed, and it is you, if you are the person who has that marker in your hand, can enlighten that whiteboard just like a teacher or just like a person who is imparting a knowledge to you.
Boy, you can talk.
I have a question, sir, for him. So can I ask him something?
Yeah, sure.
So I'll ask you about your hobbies. You look like it seems like you work out well, right? You do work out.
Yes.
In your hobbies, right?
Yeah.
So can you list out the major muscle groups in our body? Any part you choose, upper body, say. Upper body is the easiest. We do that. Monday's chest day, right?
Yeah, but I'll not be able to tell you the scientific names of the muscle.
That's what I want. So how long have you been working out?
I remember a few. I've been working out for the past 2.5, 3 years, ma'am, and I can tell a few like pectoral muscles.
Where are they?
Ma'am, pectoral muscles are towards our back.
They are in our front chest की exercise होती है pec.
Yeah, sort sort of pectoral towards this side. I cannot show you through the camera.
This is your text.
This and the back also develops along to the same.
Back is latissimus dorsi or rhomboid muscles होते हैं ऊपर.
I'm really sorry, but I'm really bad at the scientific names of the muscles. I can tell you the major types of exercises, but
you're working out in the gym. You understand. You are supposed to know them because otherwise you end up getting injured. Pec की exercise में reverse delt नहीं मार सकते ना? Deltoids are your shoulders, right?
Yes.
Delts are shoulders. ये traps हैं. So
agreed, ma'am.
upper body group, right?
I agree, ma'am. But I'm really sorry. I really have no idea about the pectoral scientific names.
So you are trained by somebody or you do it on your own?
No, ma'am. It was my hobby from always, and I have always done it on my own. I've never taken some sort of a coaching or anything.
So you think you should take a trainer for this?
No, ma'am. It depends on a person.
Tell you exactly where your muscle groups are, what you're exactly exercising.
Ma'am, it's necessary to have a teacher, but it's not always important. Even you can learn from people.
How do you learn that? So how do you do your exercises? How do you actually go about doing that? Sir, I'll take time on this because this is something I've been doing for the past 9 years, 10 years rather.
Ma'am, I follow a certain routine. I've been off routine from the past 3-4 months going to my management examinations. But earlier, prior to that, I was following a certain routine for the same.
So how do you build a routine? You take help of YouTube videos. Whom are you following?
Ma'am,
there are certain websites which tell you actually how to do. You can do it on your own. I have done it on my own.
I have also done it on my own, ma'am. I have followed website pretty less. I have followed my certain elders or people who have been working out alongside me. But I will not call them as my teachers because they are not someone always standing.
So you don't call them teachers. So what do they tell you? Just go to the gym and lift weights and something will happen overnight.
The very same day I started off my working out, I had people around me who were there for the past 2 years, 3 years, or even more than that. And I used to keep on asking them that what can be the certain posture, what can be the certain way of do a particular exercise. And time as I went on and on, then I got the nuances of the correct posture and the correct manner. I'll not say that I was able to do the right posture from the day one, but with time I came to a certain position wherein I felt that, okay, now I know where the posture is because as you just said,
I just want to ask one thing. You believe in being trained or you absolutely don't feel the need of training? What is your opinion on that?
I do believe in getting trained because it's having a really different impact, but I don't deem it to be very necessary. It's up to a personal choice, and I feel that if I would have been given a choice, I would not take up a trainer. I would rather go up to myself because although the trainer will be suggesting me something which he has seen through hundreds of people who would be having same sort of a body type like me, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's my body and I know it as well as every other.
So you have an expert opinion of your own.
I'll not say I have an expert opinion. No, ma'am, I'll not say an expert opinion, but yes, whenever I need a suggestion or something like that, I will be more than happy to take anyone's inputs onto that. But I would not be totally run onto a routine because at the end of the day, even if I would have been following a routine, this 4 months of gap, nobody would have helped me out. Then it's me who needs to get back to that workout place.
Okay. Sir, what do you?
I'm looking at your resume. You seem to be very damn good engineer. Do you think your 4 years of engineering would go to waste if you do an MBA?
No, sir, definitely not. I want to do my engineering in operations, and I believe that I will be able to use a few subjects and concepts which I've learned during my engineering for my degree as well.
Like what?
Like, for example, the operations research was one subject, and all the methods which were used in that, that subject is also there in the curriculum.
How many subjects did you learn in the 4 years of your engineering in total?
Total 48.
48. So out of those 48 subjects, maybe there are like 5 subjects that you might be able to correlate with what you're going to be doing in your MBA, right? So what will happen to the remaining 44 subjects? Would they go to waste? Then roughly close to 90% of the syllabus.
No, sir. So if I'm working in I've already used those subjects in my previous workplace, and I also used them for my final year project as well. Also, in the future, if I am a manager, I will have people working under me. Suppose I'm working in an assembly line, there will be people working under me, and if I understand the machines better, I my future job as well.
What do you mean by auto ignition temperature?
Auto ignition temperature. So that would be the temperature at which the fuel will ignite inside the engine.
Okay. What do you mean by what's the calorific value of petrol?
No, not sure, sir.
Okay, over to you, sir.
No, my question was again, see, Amey, you said you would be, if you gave me a situation that you would be working in a supply line, but the think about the situation that, after you graduate or during your placements, you get an offer from an IT company or maybe from a, multinational bank. Would you take it up? If it is a good offer, good profile.
Bank, not really, sir.
No?
No.
Are you sure?
They're paying you in lakhs, like 25-30 lakhs. बहुत अच्छा payment करते हैं.
And good profile.
Investment bank.
That is not my area of interest. Working in the bank or with the balance sheets, not my cup of tea.
Okay, let's say IT company. Okay, an IT company.
So in IT, I never liked programming, so that's why I left it in the 11th.
No, you're not going to be. See, IT mein, the programming is done by, if I give you an analogy, like what you guys do in mechanical jobs is there is a shop floor, right? So coding and all this is shop floor. So not everybody is on the shop floor, right? So in IT company, not everybody is coding. So they would also need finance guys. They would also need IT guys. They would also need marketing guys. So similarly, I'm not saying you will be working with the same profile as a coder, but maybe a profile that is suitable for an MBA. Would you take it up?
I would not, sir, because if I'm working for an IT company, the employees working under me, they would be coding, and if I know what they are doing better,
say for example, you are in a sales team of an IT, you sell IT products.
So I'm not really interested in the sales job.
Okay. You're primarily looking at operations, right?
Sorry?
You're primarily looking at operations profiles.
So that I can use like the analytical skills which I've developed during my engineering, something that I can use that in the job.
Okay, so best place where the operations skills are used, as per my knowledge, is in the FMCG industry. Because everywhere, but primarily it's totally dependent on the entire function of an FMCG company. They call it as the supply chain management. They call them as the backbone of the entire organization, because you have to maintain the supply chain from the manufacturer till the retailer. Where that smooth transition has to be there. So would you take it up again? An operations profile, great profile. Would you take it up?
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm looking forward to joining an FMCG in the future.
Okay, so but how come your 44 subjects of engineering would help you there? हेलो हाँ दादा हाँ ओ अच्छा yes Ame, we are live now
Yes.
Okay,
हाँ
so go on.
Ame, should I repeat
Yeah,
my
so
question?
I would. Yes, yes, sir.
हाँ, the question was again वही कि how your subjects of engineering are going to help you in your in your MBA or do you think it is going to be a waste of whatever you've done in your engineering?
So most of the subjects which I've learned, I won't be able to use them directly in my workplace. But I believe that after learning those subjects, I've developed a certain analytical skill and a problem-solving skill, which I can use in my operational work to solve problems and improve the efficiency. So that is one thing, and also some of the core subjects which are directly related, like operations research, supply chain management, those I will be able to use directly as well.
Okay.
And other, yeah, that would be.
Sir, I have a question for everyone, three of you. ठीक है, एक एक करके छोटा-छोटा आंसर करना है. So I have asked this question पहले भी. Has there been a time when you had to stand up for somebody and you did? कभी भी फैमिली में ऐसा नहीं कि बचपन में मेरे दोस्त की पिटाई हो रही थी तो मैंने उसको बचाया, वैसा टाइम नहीं. But once you stepped into adulthood, there has been a time when something wrong was happening to somebody and you stepped up. So can you mention an incident? Anybody can go first. You can choose who wants to go first.
I'll start off, ma'am.
Okay.
So it was none other than my mother itself. Actually, my mother works for Himalaya Drug Company, and she's been working for the company for the past 20 years. So in the recent times, earlier during my childhood and my younger brother's childhood, because of us, she never took a promotion for a long period of time. And it was after a huge gap of time, after 12 to 13 years, she took her promotion. And during this particular span of time, the technology and the advancements in the world had gone leaps and bounds. So my mother used to face a lot of difficulties while working along, and there was a particular instance wherein there was a huge mix-up in the company, and there was a very loss occurring thing that my mother did unknowingly, actually, because of a technical lack of knowledge about a particular thing. And it went to a situation wherein she was about to lose her job. And I was in my second year of my management training program for APJ Group, and my mother called me up and told me this thing. And at that time, my father's office, my father is a hotelier. His hotel was a bit not that much economically strong going on, and he was also about to retire. That was a very testing times for me and my family, because for my mother to have lost a job to support a family of four, and my father having very soon to retire, it was a very tough task for me. And that was a moment when I stood up for my mother, and my mother used to mail and do everything to the senior person, but nothing was happening, and it was about at the verge of expulsion. I took the step, and I directly called up the general manager, who was a zonal manager for Uttar Pradesh, and I had a word with him personally. And I told him on his face straightforwardly that what is the situation, what are the repercussions which will happen, and how it will impact my family so badly. And that I told her that how much time my mother has given to the company, and how much value she gives to the company, and it was just for her kids that she was never able to take a promotion, which she could have, and could have been at a very, very high managerial role, and actually among the heads of the company, among the core department. So that was one major instance which I feel when I stood up for my family and for money.
So what did you exactly learn from it? Something which can be applied contemporarily.
Ma'am, I learned two things. That one is technologically being updated in this world, in today's world, is very, very important, because we are moving on and growing every single day. And if you are not technologically sound, if I talk about our peer groups, there are people who are in the generation of the 20 years and 30 years people, if we are not technologically sound, and if we are not up with the market, it is such a ruthless rat race going on right now, that if you are not technologically sound, if you are not skilled enough, then your industry, there are n number of people who are standing behind you to grab that opportunity. There is this one thing. Second thing is that you need to bring value alongside yourself all the time. Once the company feels that you are not carrying that value with yourself, then, as we have a saying also, that never make love with your company, if I'm using the word right, that never take your company so lovingly and don't become so dear to your company that an instance comes on that part and parcel of life, that touch wood, it does not happen with anyone, but if something like very bad happens to the company and they have to recession happens.
Hold your thought there. I have a slightly different point of view on this. I don't think, see, companies function for profit, everybody knows that.
Yes, ma'am.
If they don't profit, they can't pay you. It's as simple as that. It's not government, it can't mint money.
Yeah.
So anything that you learn from the travails of your mother, because if I would have been the person, because my mother is working too, so it would have been that if I were a man, I'm a woman, so I really can't comment on that, but if whenever you do get a wife, whenever you do have children, you make sure that they don't have to neglect their promotions or their careers. Yes, because they are taking care of their family. Because see, I don't think it's the company which is at fault. It's like because you were invested in something which was more important to you, that you fell back on something. It's a good thing you took the step. But I think if the families are more forthcoming, it is easier for women to work. That would be my learning from it. Right?
And yeah, that was another learning actually which I forgot to reflect upon, and I want to say is that in my times and in my upcoming generations and my children, even my wife, I would make sure that something like this terminology and something like this called that women needs to be at the back end and the men needs to be at the front end. I completely don't believe in this philosophy. I believe that women are equally capable enough and they stand just next to the person and the sole bread earner, and they can actually take the charge and be the major bread earner of the company, of the family. So this thing which I have learned from my mother is that she should have invested her time with the children. I understand the emotional aspect. It is very easy to say. Practically, it is very, very difficult because the love of a mother for her children is something which cannot be calculated with any other step in the life, be it professional, be it anything. Be it even the relationship with the people around her, even the relatives. But yes, one needs to have a very practical mindset. For me, I will give a very, very equal importance, and also to my counterpart, I will make sure that they give an equal importance on a personal perspective as well as on a professional perspective, because it is the need of the hour.
Okay. Anisha, Ravi, who wants to go next?
Yes, ma'am.
You guys choose who wants to go next.
Okay,
and keep it brief, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes each.
Yeah. So this incident was when I was in college, and I was a part of the main organizing committee of our cultural fest. So I was given the responsibility of designing and getting the trophy done for the event. So I got the trophy done, and then I had to get it back home, but I did not have transport at that time. So I called my friend, who was a good friend of mine, but he was of the rival college. So he took the trophy and he went home, and he did not know the importance of the situation. So what he did was he took a picture of that and he put it up on social media. And then the head of the organizing committee, he called me up and said that such and such things has happened. Then after that, this was the second day of the event. So after this, I had to put in all my heart and soul to make up for that mistake, and I put my full efforts to make the event successful and to cover up that mistake. And then also I spoke to my friend and told him that it should not happen again. But that I stood up for.
Stand up
for my friend who had put the picture up on social media.
Okay, so you think he did the right thing by exposing the trophy before anyone else knew, without your permission?
No, that was, he did not know how critical the situation.
Before ethics, before anything else. मतलब ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे type person, right?
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah. Sorry.
You should have done something else. You should have told him. Did you actually tell him that what you did?
I took it for granted that he would not do such a thing, but he also did not know how critical the situation was. Then he just put up the picture.
Okay. Anisha, you go.
Yes, ma'am. There was an incident in my college with my friend. She's one of my friend. She was playing PUBG with this with this college mates, and someone she heard that rumor that some boy in my in other section spread the rumor that about something wrong about that girl, that she is like doing wrong things in college and sitting back in the class. She used to watch wrong things, and it was all just fake and false rumors he was spreading. And while playing PUBG only, he was talking to friends and saying that that girl does this, and and certainly this rumor was spreading through PUBG only, and she got to listen about these things. And then she was like, I should confront him or not. Then I took stand that you should confront him and do the complaint to the proctor office. If you will not do that now, and then he'll get a chance to spread some more rumor about some other girl also, and he might be saying that she talked to him that why you are saying all these things. He's saying no, I didn't said. Someone else is saying that we connected the chains and we got to know that he said that, and he was not ready to accept. Then he said मैंने मजाक में कह दिया. So then we were like, no, it is not good. Like, you cannot put allegations on someone's character. He was saying wrong things about her character, and then I took her, and with some more friends, we took her to the proctor office and we filed a complaint against him, and then he got punished. So I learned that if we don't raise voice against a small thing also, like it was a rumor. Many people were saying that don't say like that, don't complain against him. He will he will torture you in other way, or he will harm you in a different way. But we took steps and we complained. So I learned that we should not stop like small harassment also, because it may lead to a bigger problem afterwards.
Amay, I have to ask you one question. Do you have a pen and paper with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So just write down a series for me. The series goes 92, 82, 72. What is the next term? Analyze it properly. We are in an interview setup.
Okay.
Think about it and tell me what is the next term in the series. 92, 82, 72, and what is the next term?
So do we have any further questions for Kshitij and Anisha?
I'll just come back there. Let him just finish. Amay, what is the next term?
I'm getting 62.
Okay. So what you did when you said 62, you just mentioned your percentage in your MBA. Because that's what your 10th was 92, your 12th was 82, your graduation was 72, and now you're going to be getting 62. Yeah. So I said we are in an interview setup, right? So थोड़ा सा उस चीज को analyze करो. You need to tell me is that why there is a consistent decline in your percentages?
Yes, sir. So in 12th, I agree that I had taken my studies lightly. I did not concentrate as much. I was concentrating more on the competitive exams, and I gave less focus on my board exams. I dropped my percentage there. And in the engineering, actually, in my college, the highest percentage is 80%, the topper.
Okay.
And with the 72%, I am in the top 10 in my college. So
Okay.
it is not bad given my board, and I believe I performed well in my engineering.
All right. So, ma'am, Pratik sir had a question, I think, for this.
So what can we do to develop a good thing? Anyone can answer.
Sir, I couldn't hear you.
What can we do to develop a good thing?
Okay.
Strategy.
Delegation of tasks.
Anisha, which specialization are you planning to?
Sorry?
Nobody said
That
competence.
comes with the delegation only, depending on the competence of the person delegating the task to. As per the competence.
Not always. तुम्हारा पर्सनल असिस्टेंट को कुछ तुम देते हो, जरूरी नहीं है ना कि उसको, तुमको पता है ना कि जब पेपर्स चेक होते हैं, if you go to MBA colleges, प्रोफेसर्स पेपर्स चेक नहीं करते हैं, टीचिंग असिस्टेंट चेक करते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
सो प्रोफेसर्स की डिग्री और टीचिंग असिस्टेंट्स की डिग्री में और एक्सपीरियंस में बहुत फर्क होता है. Competence is required to make something successful. ये होता है, ये सब जगह होता है. इवन फॉर सिविल सर्विसेज जो पेपर्स जाते हैं बच्चों के चेक होने मॉक्स में, वो स्टूडेंट्स ही चेक करते हैं, प्रोफेसर्स चेक नहीं करते जो फीडबैक आता है. देयर इज अ ह्यूज लेवल ऑफ डिफरेंस इन कॉम्पिटेंस. एक पर्सन है हु हैज 15 इयर्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस और एक नया इंसान है, सो यू नीड द राइट कॉम्पिटेंस टू मेक दोज करेक्ट डिसीजंस. हम लोग इसको वाइंड अप करें या अभी एनीथिंग आप लोग?
Anybody has any question you can ask. This is the...
हाँ, आपके पास भी कोई क्वेश्चंस है तो पूछो. Apart from the feedback on interview, which we will eventually give to you. All right. Sir, आप तेरा से आप feedback से शुरू कीजिए. प्रतीक सर.
हाँ, so I'll start with Anisha. So Anisha यार, why MBA is again very vague है ना, so थोड़ा सा उस पे काम करो. Why MBA? Because I want to do MBA, you know, for my post graduation. That would not be like, you know, एक substantial answer नहीं बनेगा. You have to have a purpose. Because होता क्या है कि 11th के बाद 12th करना पड़ता है ना, 12th के बाद ग्रेजुएशन करना पड़ता है, बट ग्रेजुएशन के बाद MBA करना पड़ता है, ऐसा कहीं नहीं लिखा नहीं है. So it is basically, or that too we are now like graduates, so we must have a very, you know, एक हमारे पास एक independence होती है to take a choice, to take a call. So why did you choose to do an MBA? That is how, you know, we should have started कि किस direction में जाना है. इसलिए I was trying to probe you more and more कि यार कहाँ करना चाहते हो, किस में करना चाहते हो, किस तरह की इंडस्ट्री में आप करना चाहते हो. ठीक है, so उस चीज को आपको फ्रेम करना पड़ेगा why MBA, because it's for any MBA aspirant जो भी इंटरव्यू में जाएगा उसके लिए कॉमन क्वेश्चन होने वाला है ही why MBA. आप कोई भी आप इंटरव्यू प्रोसेस अपने सीनियर्स का पूछ लीजिए, चाहे वो छोटे से छोटे कॉलेज में गए हो या फिर बड़े से बड़े कॉलेज में गए हो, किसी न किसी रूप में किसी न किसी भाषा में ये क्वेश्चन डेफिनेटली पूछा जाता है why MBA. So the process to answer this question, ये इसके लिए ना don't look out for you know answers on internet, because this is a completely personal answer, because उसी की basis पर next question frame होता है. So if you have, you know, seen something on the internet, then होगा क्या कि जब वो cross questioning होगी then you'll get stuck. ठीक है, so try to think over it, design the answer and write it down. But when you write it down now, so it becomes easier for you to, you know, be ready for the next cross questions. ठीक है, so work on it, very important. ठीक है, so Anisha, communication skills and everything is good. ठीक है, so that is not a problem. So but communication skill तब falter कर रहा है आपका, तब आप fumble कर रहे हो जब आपके पास आंसर रेडी नहीं है, जब आपके पास आंसर रेडी नहीं है. ठीक है, तो उसमें इशू हो रहा है. क्षितिज, यू वर ग्रेट, ट्रिमेंडसली, बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे. बस सिम्बायोसिस के बारे में अच्छे से पढ़ के जाओ, ठीक है ना. हाँ, नहीं, बिकॉज जिस भी कॉलेज के बारे में जा रहे हैं, दिस इज फॉर एवरीवन अगेन, जो जिस भी कॉलेज में जा रहे हैं उसके बारे में अच्छे से पढ़ो. जैसे सिम्बायोसिस का मीनिंग क्या है, टू टेल यू, मैंने शायद पिछले भी काफी इंटरव्यूज में बता चुका हूँ कि ये टिपिकल क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. मोटो क्या है, विजन मिशन स्टेटमेंट क्या है, और विजन मिशन और मोटो में फर्क क्या होता है, यू नो, ये थोड़ा सा पढ़ के जाओ कि कॉलेज के बारे में जानना. और क्योंकि यार इट्स एन हेवी इन्वेस्टमेंट दैट यू वांट बी मेकिंग ना, सो और कॉलेज भी अच्छा है तो कॉलेज भी जानना चाह रहा है कि आप मेरे में कितना इंटरेस्टेड हो, है ना. तो इट्स लाइक दिस ना कि वी ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट द एंटायर, यू नो, पूरा प्रोफाइलिंग करके जाते हैं कि यार दिस इज व्हाई आई हैव चोजन दिस कॉलेज, इट्स नॉट जस्ट अ रैंडम सिलेक्शन. ठीक है, सो
सर उसमें एक और चीज मुझे ऐड करनी है. तो ये बोल रहा है ना, जैसे आज सर हम IIM रोहतक का ले रहे थे, प्रतीक सर और मैं, तो IIM रोहतक का जैसे है कि CFA सर्टिफाइड है वो लोग, तो उनका करिकुलम उसी के ऊपर चलता है, तो फाइनेंस वालों को बहुत फायदा हो जाता है क्योंकि CFA के लिए जाते हैं. तो ऐसा कुछ अगर कोई एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट है ना जो किसी इंस्टीट्यूट के बारे में जान सकता है जहाँ भी तू जा रहा है,
राइट,
हेल्प यू, यू नो कि वहाँ पे पढ़ने क्या वाले हो.
हाँ,
मतलब तुम कहीं पैसा इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो तो
मैंने मैम प्रिपेयर कर रखा था कि YIB में, पर वो आपने बीच में ना क्वेश्चन हमारा बदल गया, तो मैं उस पे आने वाला था, बिकॉज आई हैड अ पॉइंट, मैं बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट लेके बैठा था. आई हैड few jotted down names of the notable alumni who belong to my industry, who who started off their career, and जैसा सर ने बोला था कि best answer to frame for long-term plan is go to the LinkedIn profile, check out where they are after 7 years, 6 years. मैंने exactly वही किया. मैंने उनका starting देखा, and this particular person he did his SIIB international business and one of the alumni. Then he went on to Taj Hotels, Resorts and Palaces, and right now he is working with KPMG.
Okay.
And before this he was working with Grade Up.
तो जब भी बोले ना ये जो लिखने वाला एक्टिविटी है, you do that लिखने वाला एक्टिविटी, पॉइंट्स थोड़े समराइज हो जाएंगे. जैसे व्हाइट बोर्ड वाला था ना, वो व्हाइट बोर्ड पे जो बोला, मेरी बात सर ने पूछा 30 सेकंड सोचने का टाइम. जब हम सोचने का टाइम लेते हैं ना, वो सिर्फ सोचने के लिए नहीं होता, वो अच्छा भी लगता है कि इसको मेरे क्वेश्चन की इंपॉर्टेंस नजर आती है, इसको सच में सोचने का टाइम चाहिए. ही विल नॉट जस्ट रैम्बल अराउंड. वो अच्छा भी लगना होता है. देयर इज अ साइकोलॉजिकल थिंग अटैच्ड टू इट. ठीक है, बहुत इम्प्रूव किया है. यू हैव ट्रेमेंडसली इम्प्रूव. सी प्लसेस है, you look good, make use of that. You address smartly. You have absolutely fantastic communication skills. You don't fumble. But you ramble. क्यों ramble करना? एक ही चीज तो है, लिख ले. मैं देखो कल भी बोला था जी के टाइम में, don't ramble. Points लिख ले, खट 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 बोल और खत्म कर. और जो ब्रीफ होता है, प्रिसाइज होता है, उसमें थोड़ा सा मजा आ जाता है कि यार बिल्कुल क्रिस्प इसने पॉइंट्स दिए. दूसरा, आज जो मैंने आई एम रोहतक का भी जब हम ले रहे थे, दैट वुमन वाज वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट. बट अगर बैक स्टेप लेना पड़े तो ले. अगर मैं तुझे बता चुकी हूँ, हिंट दे चुकी हूँ कि मैं 10 साल से आई हैव बीन वर्किंग आउट, तो मतलब मुझे पता होंगे कि मैं क्या पूछ रही हूँ. ठीक है,
मैं क्या करता हूँ, बना देता.
हाँ, कि मैम आप सही कह रहे हो, क्योंकि अगर मैं बोल रही हूँ कि ट्रेनर की जरूरत है, क्योंकि तूने मसल ग्रुप का आंसर गलत दे दिया. अगर तुझे पता होता तो बात नहीं खत्म हो जाती, क्योंकि वो बहुत बेसिक है. तुम स्ट्रेंथ एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हो, तुम्हें मसल ग्रुप नहीं पता है किसके लिए करो, तो फिर मतलब क्यों कर रहे हो? मेरे को ये सब
जनरल पता है ना कि भाई शोल्डर्स बनाने हैं, बाइसेप्स बनाने हैं.
हाँ, तो शोल्डर में भी हर शोल्डर के 3 पार्ट होते हैं, यहाँ वाला, इधर वाला और पीछे वाला. तो पीछे के लिए रिवर्स डेल्ट करते हो, आगे के लिए पेग फ्लाई करते हो, ऐसे जो भी करते हो. ठीक है, तो वो फिर अगर वो नहीं पता है एंड यू हॉबीज पे लिखा है, मैंने कहीं से नहीं, तो अपने सीवी का एक वर्ड, जो मैंने दिन में भी बोला था, सीवी का एक वर्ड तुम्हारा बाइबल है. मतलब हमारे पास क्या होता है, जो मन में आता है पूछते हैं. ठीक है, तो तेरे को पता होना चाहिए व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. अगर पता है तो वेरी गुड, ऐसा वाला. पर लिखने की हैबिट डाल, अपने आंसर लिख. बोलने के पहले तेरे पास पेन और पेपर रहेगा, जब एक्चुअल इंटरव्यू में भी जाए पॉइंट्स जॉट डाउन कर ले. तो व्हेन यू स्पीक आउट, सर ये 1 2 3 पॉइंट है. जब मैं जी में बोलती थी तो मैं बोलती थी कि हाँ मेरे पास 3 पॉइंट है कहने के लिए. तो उससे पता है होता क्या है, एंटिसिपेशन होती है कि अच्छा ये 3 पॉइंट बोलेगा, फर्स्ट, सेकंड और थर्ड. तो सामने वाले को बड़ा अच्छा लगता है, बहुत जल्दी समझ आ जाता है पैनलिस्ट को. बाकी तेरा परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा है, एंड कीप अप द गुड लुक्स दैट यू हैव. इट रियली बाइसेस द इंटरव्यू.
हाँ, क्योंकि वही और यू नो बिकॉज सिम्बायोसिस हो गया या माइका हो गया, these typical colleges have you know because they are very good colleges, you know, private colleges में अच्छे colleges में गिने जाते हैं, तो they have some kind of an ego, है ना. तो when you have an ego massage ना, कि हाँ we know about you, so it feels good, right? So again and you know किसी के बारे में भी, you know, कि आप मेरे बारे में जानते हो, तो it's like you know किसी को भी ego. और this goes for everyone, ठीक है. It's not just for symbiosis and other colleges. You have to, जिस भी कॉलेज में अच्छे से पढ़ के जाओ, ठीक है. So that you know, अगर मान लो डायरेक्टर ही बैठा है वहाँ पे आपके इंटरव्यू के लिए, हो भी सकता है, और वो पूछता है who's the director of the college and you say you don't know, तो उसको कितना बुरा लगेगा. So मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि these are make or break questions. हाँ, these are not make or break questions, but you know it creates an impression, है ना, creates an impression. ठीक है. So बाकी ठीक है, बाकी जैसे मैंने मैम ने बोला कि बहुत अच्छे से पिकअप किया. So हमें for your feedback ना, I'll just take out a point from what ma'am said ना. You know, your CV is very sacrosanct, ठीक है. Everything, every word on the CV is like to the T, ठीक है, वो पता होना चाहिए. तो when I asked you series, it's basically something related to that only, ठीक है. That is not that was not a serious question. Basically मतलब वही, you know, did you realize, because automatically एक decline दिखता है ना, क्योंकि when you look at that particular chart ना, तो मुझे दिख रहा था धीरे धीरे ये decline हो रहा है. Although I understand engineering में 72 is not a bad. I totally understand engineering में, that mechanical engineering I know GEC, और जहाँ मुझे पता है कि 72% मैकेनिकल में बहुत अच्छा स्कोर है, ठीक है. बट अगेन यू नो क्योंकि कई ऐसे कॉलेजेस हैं जो अभी भी 98 95 भी दे देते हैं इंजीनियरिंग में. आई डोंट नो हाउ, बट ऐसा आता है लोगों का, ठीक है, सो यू नेवर नो, ठीक है, सो बट यू नो इट डिक्लाइन, इट डिप्ड, तो आई हैड टू आस्क यू। तो बट जैसे कि मैम ने कहा, वो जो एवरी वर्ड इन द सीवी हैज टू बी लाइक नोन, एंड इंजीनियर्स के लिए दिस इज फॉर यू एंड फॉर एवरीवन, इंजीनियर्स के लिए एक प्रॉब्लमेटिक क्वेश्चन हमेशा आएगा, इंजीनियरिंग के बाद एमबीए क्यों? ये 3 इडियट सबने बहुत सीरियसली देखी हुई है, ठीक है ना, कि बहुत ज्यादा इतना अच्छे से इतना इंजीनियरिंग किया, इतना अच्छा स्कोर लेके आया, फिर देन यू वर सो पैशनेट अबाउट इट, व्हाई आर यू प्लानिंग टू लीव? बिकॉज यू विल नॉट बी वर्किंग इन दैट इंजीनियरिंग फील्ड, राइट? हाँ, you would be developed, you must have developed some analytical skills, we can sugarcoat everything, right? But there has to be a question कि यार, तो अल्टीमेटली यार मैंने जो 4 साल में मैंने बहुत ज्यादा इवेंट मैनेजमेंट किया, बट प्राइमरी तो हमने पढ़ाई की ना यार, कॉलेज वाज नॉट एन इवेंट मैनेजमेंट कॉलेज, राइट? कॉलेज वाज एन इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, तो जो मैंने पढ़ाई किया, हाउ दैट बी हेल्पफुल? ठीक है, तो जब मैंने आपको ऑप्शन दे रहा हूँ, तो यू कैन हैव स्टार्टेड, राइट? तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, मतलब मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि हर एक क्वेश्चन के लिए, हर एक कॉलेज के लिए एक अलग टेलर मेड आंसर होगा। आप बेसिकली इस तरह से पिकअप कर सकते, जैसे कि मैंने सेट की एन आईटी कंपनी हायर्स you know, or gives you an offer. So first of all, yeah, that means if the company hires you, and being a mechanical engineer, it hires me, yeah, it has offered me a role, yani ki they have considered me as the best suitable fit among all the best candidates that the college has to offer, right? So that means I have what it takes to be at that particular position also. So आप उनको enumerate कर दो, but ठीक है, तो be very ready about these answers. They might, they say in all the other things, जैसे कि आपका आई एम इंदौर भी था कि है, हो गया है ना? आई एम इंदौर, टू टेल यू वेरी फ्रैंकली, आई एम इंदौर, आई एम Calcutta, Lucknow, these guys are known for stress interviews. They just don't show their face as if they are convinced. मतलब कि वो ऐसे दिखते रहते हैं, मतलब ब्लैंक एक्सप्रेशन, व्हाटएवर, आप कितना भी कन्विंसिंग आंसर, कितना भी राइट आंसर दे दो, कि आपसे 2+2=4 पूछ लेगा, फिर भी ऐसे दिखेगा कि क्या बोल रहा है। I get your point. So easy. So it's very easy to get intimidated. So be very firm and be ready about this answer कि why engineering के बाद MBA क्यों, ठीक है? और जैसे सर ने पूछे कुछ इंजीनियरिंग के क्वेश्चंस जो हैं टिपिकल, जैसे पिछली बार हम लोगों ने डिस्कस भी किया था, है ना, सब्जेक्ट जो पास्ट ईयर्स जो है आपके 4 साल का पूरा रिफ्रेश करना तो पॉसिबल नहीं है, बट एटलीस्ट प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में अच्छे से ब्रश अप करके जाना है, ठीक है? सो
एक और चीज तो मुझे इसकी अच्छी लगी हमें, कि जब हमने इसको इतना सब लुक्रेटिव चीजें ऑफर की, he stuck to his gun, so वो अच्छा था, that was a very positive point. ये बाकी लोगों के लिए भी है, if you believe in something, अगर ऐसे questions आ जाए then stick, पिक मत जाना वहां पे, वो मतलब ऑफर ऐसे फालतू नहीं कर रहे, वो मतलब ऐसा फेक ऑफर है तो बिकना नहीं है, बाद में बिक जाओ भले, वहां पे मत बिकना। do what he did, and he was very genuine about it, इसके फेस पे दिख रहा था।
नहीं, स्पेशली एसपीजेन में तो यू हैव अप्लाइड फॉर ऑपरेशंस ओनली ना?
यस।
हाँ, सो तो फिर हाँ ऑटोमेटिक आएगा, तो क्योंकि वो आपके लिए ऑटोमेटिक ट्रांजिशन भी है, तो इट्स लाइक मैकेनिकल टू ऑपरेशंस देन, बट मैं कहता हूँ आई एम इंदौर, इन सब चीजों में ना, बाकी कॉलेजेस में, बी रेडी अबाउट दिस क्वेश्चन, ठीक है? अनिशा, वी डिड नॉट आस्क यू, आई वांटेड टू आस्क यू व्हिच स्पेशलाइजेशन आर यू प्लानिंग टू टेक अप? एग्री बिजनेस ही करना पक्का? तो हैव यू अप्लाइड टू रेलेवेंट कॉलेजेस?
Sir, I have given exam for symbiosis and I have to give CMAT.
तो SIIB से कॉल है? SIIB से कॉल है?
SIIB ABM से कॉल है।
ABM से कॉल है ना? हाँ, तो रीड अबाउट इट अच्छे से, तो उनके रिक्रूटर्स के बारे में पढ़ के, जो SIIB ABM के रिक्रूटर्स क्या हैं, ठीक है? मतलब रीड अबाउट द रिक्रूटर्स, मतलब बिकॉज एंड गेम क्या है वो हमें पता होना चाहिए, है ना, कि कहाँ जाना। रिक्रूटर्स ऐसे जैसे कि SIIB ABM में क्या होता है, जैसे कि उसमें ना कोटक महिंद्रा आता है, आई गेट यू माय पॉइंट। सो एग्री बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट के लिए कोटक महिंद्रा आता है। सो मेरे को
इंटरव्यू के लिए रिक्रूटर्स आएंगे उसके बारे में।
हाँ, कॉलेज में जब आप जब प्लेसमेंट्स के अलावा, तो बिकॉज होता क्या ना, जैसे हाँ, तो मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ ये क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि ना जब आप रिक्रूटर्स के बारे में लिस्ट जानने जाते हो, तो कॉलेज आपसे जानना चाहता है जब इंटरव्यू में कि वेयर डू यू सी योरसेल्फ, आफ्टर एग्री बिजनेस, बट बोलेंगे सर यहाँ, बट हमारे यहाँ तो कोटक महिंद्रा आता है, करेक्ट? तो बट यू नीड टू सी कि व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्रोफाइल्स आर दे ऑफरिंग, ठीक है? सो आप देखेंगे जैसे कि रूरल फाइनेंस चलता है ना, तो जो एग्री फाइनेंस जो होता है, ये सब चीजों में कोटक महिंद्रा आता है। सो लुक एट द प्रोफाइल्स दीस गाइज आर ऑफरिंग, ठीक है? तो रिक्रूटर्स देखो उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोफाइल में और उसके बारे में, जैसे कि क्षितिज ने अच्छे से काम किया लिंक्डइन पे, जो एलुमनाइज हैं, ठीक है, सब लोग को इसी पे काम करना है कि उस कॉलेज से 2015-14 के एलुमनाइज निकालो, उनके बारे में अच्छे से रिसर्च करो, नेम एंड मेंशन देयर पोजीशन, सो दैट हम लोग जो है जब आपसे पूछें कि वेयर यू सी योरसेल्फ 5 years, व्हाई आर यू डूइंग योर एमबीए, तो एवरीथिंग कैन बी कनेक्टेड, ठीक है। तो इफ आई मेंशन ए वेरी रैंडम प्लेस एंड रैंडम पोजीशन की सर दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू बी, बट यार वो मुझे पता है एज ए कॉलेज की, रही तो मैं ऑफर ही नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। तो इफ आई पुट अप अ क्वेश्चन देन नो व्हाई शी हियर, सी हम लोग क्या बात करें जब हम इंटरव्यू में है ना यार, व्हाट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इट हैज टू बी वेरी फॉर्मल सेटअप ना, अल्टीमेटली कौन सा कॉलेज है, कौन सी कंपनी आएगी, इट्स टोटली डिपेंड्स ऑन दैट डे, राइट। सो बट फॉर्मल सेटअप में हमको वी हैव टू बी रेडी अबाउट एनी क्वेश्चन दैट कम्स टू आवर माइंड, जैसे कि मैम ने पूछा, यू नो द इंटरव्यू कैन गो इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ यू नो जिमिंग, है ना, कुछ भी जा सकता है, एनीवे, ठीक है। तो वी शुड बी रेडी अबाउट दैट। तो एक फॉर्मल सेटअप में फॉर्मल आंसर्स आपके पास रेडी होने चाहिए, ठीक है। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? Yeah, sure. Ma'am, we are also concluding. So if you have any other questions.
No, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Done.
Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a part of it. And you know, through you guys, a lot of people are learning, and I'm you know thankful to you for being a part of this and you know and helping out others. Okay. So if you have any other questions, anybody else who wants to join.
Actually, interview experience was really good.
Right.
अच्छा prepared था, मतलब अच्छा लगा मुझे तो, बहुत
Right.
अच्छा लगा.
Great. I also liked it. Yes. Yes. So shall see you guys as soon as possible. So whenever you want to schedule, to just mention the groups, and others also who is there who want to join, please join the Telegram channel t.me/gd_pi, जहाँ पे we can connect with us, and if you want to schedule an interview, we can definitely have a go. ठीक है, and please send in your resumes. ठीक है, thank you guys, thank you and good night.